as we start to open up again, as we start to think about reopening, how you think this momentum can or will continue?
Yeah, it's probably one of the most popular questions I get from our public investors. And I think that, what I look at is the predominant trends that existed prior to COVID. Even before the surge of engagement on digital platforms due to stay at home, you already had gaming bigger than TV, bigger than the global film box office. And I think it really comes back to something we've talked about on the program before. This is the dominant preferred form of entertainment for Gen Z and millennials. It's a lifestyle decision. It's social engagement. It's about community. So there's a lot of stickiness there that I don't think will really change post-COVID. Certainly for us, though, it has been a real accelerant in our digital reach.
How do you turn that accelerant into real monetization?
Absolutely. I mean, we knew when we listed on NASDAQ that the pressure was on. Everybody's excited about this competitive video gaming space, but it's nascent in its monetization beyond the traditional publisher model. And so we feel that heat in a good way. For us, what we've been doing is really aggregating two things that we can monetize. One is gamers, right? So we have about 2.3 million strong registered users, and that's about 5x where we were last year. And then more importantly, we're aggregating their content. It's a user-generated platform where they're giving us their gameplay, their highlight reels, and we can distribute that content and monetize it in a lot of different ways. And so, for example, this year we have year-to-date produced 191 original content series that have been posted on Snapchat and Instagram. We can drive ad revenue off of that, of course. But again, this is derivative content gamers are giving to us that we're able to repackage and monetize. So that's really the key, is monetizing the player and monetizing the content that they're giving us.
I'm curious if anyone has thought about any addiction issues, or when we're all coped up in this pandemic and at home, perhaps maybe using gaming and taking away from other learning experiences, and if that has allowed you to think about how to turn in gaming into also a learning opportunity as well to help combat some of that criticism. What do you say to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, that's really at the heart of Super League. When we came together in 2015, we saw the trend in gaming. We saw that there was a lot of positivity in gaming. I mean, most of these games have a lot of strategy and critical thinking. You're seeing gaming being used more and more in the classroom, the gamification of things to advance kids' learning. We saw that when you wrap teams and leagues and positive tournament structures around it, it taught you about sportsmanship and collaboration. So that's really at the heart of what our brand stands for. That's how we've been able to attract the kinds of partners that we do, whether it be Topgolfs or Tencents and Activision Blizzards, or it happens to be great brands like Logitech or Nickelodeon. It's because we saw that there was an opportunity for positive gaming that's good for you and reinforces good behaviors. And that's a real hallmark of the company, is that we have a pretty high code of sportsmanship. Of course, too much of anything is not a good thing, but you just have to remember with gaming, it's just as much about the friendships that you're building through the game than it is the play itself.
You mentioned partnerships, and one of those, of course, is you're partnering up with City Football Group, soccer club operator, as we know. What do you want to glean from that partnership?
Yeah, I mean, we're super excited about this. I think that there's a reason you see traditional sports team owners now investing in professional esports teams. These days, the gamer and the traditional sports athlete aren't anymore separate audiences, they're converging. And so we love the idea of bringing a traditional sports property and a leading football club owner, obviously Manchester City being such a dominant force, bringing them into our virtual environments. And this is going to be a super positive experience where we're going to have our kids who play Minecraft. It's our branded property owned and operated called minehut.com. They're going to get to participate in a 3-month competitive and build experience. They're going to be doing it in the legendary Etihad Stadium. I mean, it's going to be a real engaging, positive experience for kids. We also have another exciting game we announced that we're launching with in a couple months called Venture Valley. That's a game targeting as well teenagers, and it's really about teens learning how to start their own businesses and make smart decisions on how to optimize those businesses.
I finally want to end here on just sort of your perspective around Tencent. The Trump administration has proposed blocking or scrutinizing perhaps some payments within those apps. How does that impact you? And have you spoken with Tencent about these issues?
Yeah, I mean, we've been partnering with Tencent for some time now. I'm not a fintech expert. And so a lot of the conversation that I'm listening to seems to be more targeted towards some of their fintech properties. But what I will say as a gaming partner is that all of the gaming partners that we work with have pretty strong points of view about adhering to the local laws with regard to data privacy of gamers. That's obviously a big hot button for gamers themselves. And so again, that lines up pretty strongly with our brand value. So we don't think there's a concern there. But your point is a good one, which is it's pretty hard pressed to find these days a mega corporation out there, whether it be a China one or even a US one, that doesn't have a significant bet they're making in gaming, because again, they know it's where this next audience of potential consumers are spending their time.